Hare Krishna devotees, Dandavat Pranam, Jai Shri Prabhupada. Welcome to our weekly BhagavatSanga program. We are kicking off a new set of prayers today. We concluded the prayers of Akura last week, or 2 weeks ago, and this week we are starting the wonderful prayers of Nalakuvara. A little bit of background about this story. So Nalakuvara and Manigriva were liberated by Lord Krishna as part of the Damodar Sukam pastime. So, when the Lord was tied by Mother Yashoda, he dragged the mortar that he was tied to between these two Arjuna trees, and he pulled so hard that the trees became uprooted, and from these two trees came the devotees Nalakuvara and Manigriva, who were previously cursed. So they were liberated. They offered their prayers, and this is their prayers. So we will turn it over to wonderful devotee today, Radha Rasabihari Prabhu. Thank you, Radha Rasabihari Prabhu, for accepting this service and for starting this new theme. I will turn it over to you. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Prashant Prabhu and Radha Damodar Prabhu. Prabhuji already narrated this in short, and I'll be just trying to elaborate it a little bit more. So before I begin, I just wanted to do the invocation prayers. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnana Jana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Mano Bhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuttapadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsa Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagarna Raghunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Savagan Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deen Bandhu Jagat Pate Gopesh Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namustate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye वांक्षा कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः ओम विष्णु पादाय कृष्ण प्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते सिद्धार्थ स्वामी निति नामनि नमस्ते श्रीधरास बिहारी चरण कमल सेवकं श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी शिष्य प्रियायते नमः ओम विष्णु पादाय कृष्ण प्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी निति नामनि नमस्ते सरस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणी निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणी हरे कृष्ण devotees. First of all, I thank Subhadra Mataji and Satyasara Prabhuji for providing us this platform so where we can freely discuss about the divine pastimes of the Lord. So today's pastime is also very amazing. Let me just share this presentation and then we get started from there. Can you see the presentation, Prabhuji? The slides coming, Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhuji, we can see.
Yeah, so we'll be talking about the prayers of Nalakuvara and Manigriva.
You could do it in the full mode, that'll be useful, more clear.
Yes, Prabhuji, I will be doing it after 2 slides. So, so initially, I just wanted to tell you about a little bit about the prayers of Nalakuvara and Manigriva. So, already narrated by Prashant Prabhuji that these are two devatas, actually sons of Kuvera. So they were, but somehow or other, they were too much puffed up and they were cursed by Narad Muni. So in their previous lives, they were Nalakuvera and Manigriva. They were now in the garden of Nanda Maharaj, appearing as two Yamalarjun trees. Okay, so they were big devotees of Lord Shiva, and they also got so many boons. But because they were popped up by their money and power, wealth of the father, they became addicted to wine and women. So on one occasion, they were along with other beautiful women and praying. They entered into the garden of Lord Shiva in Kailasa. And there is a holy Ganges, Mandakini river flowing. And intoxicated by the wine and the presence of different women, they started to enjoy their company, entering naked into the Mandakini river. At that same time, Narad Muni was passing in that area. And when Narad Muni saw all these things, he was feeling ashamed. All these ladies, they were feeling ashamed. All these ladies, they started to put their cloths on them. But puffed up by the pride and also with intoxication, with Varuni and other things, these Nalakuvara and Manigriva, they did not bother about presence of Narad Muni. And they just kept like that. They just stayed like that. So Narad Muni, out of his compassion, he cursed them. Now you can think about how a curse can become a compassion, right? But there are certain things. Devotees are always very, very humble. Humility is there in them, and they also wanted to take care of other devotees. They know that this his father is a great devotee of the Lord, and also they are also Lord, but it's just this time and circumstances that they have become puffed up by their um money and their association. So just to give them a proper lesson, Narad Muni cursed them. And just to fulfill the desire of his devotee, Krishna, he comes to fulfill the words of Narad Muni. When he was a boy, one day when we all have seen the Damodar Leela recently, Mother Yashoda is tying Krishna with a mortar. And just bound by this mortar, Krishna started dragging that mortar between these Yamal Arjun trees. Just to prove the Narad's prophecy, Krishna uprooted these trees, liberating these two demigods. Now they emerged as in their divine form. Once the Krishna uprooted these trees, these two devatas, they came out, as you have seen in this image, right? From this tree, these two devatas, they are coming out. Okay, so the same thing appears in Bhagavatam in form of this verse. Tatra Shriya Paramaya Kakuba Spurantau Siddhau Upetya Kujayur Eva Jata Veda Krishnam Pranamasya Shirshakila Lokanatham Baddhanjali Virajasa Idam Ukchatu Sma. Thereafter, in that place, there were two Arjuna trees had fallen, two great personalities who appeared like fire personified came out of those two trees. The effulgence of their beauty illuminating all directions, with bowed heads they offered obeisances to Krishna, and with hands folded they spoke following words. So after this verse, the prayers of Nalakuvara and Manigriva, they start. I'm not going to go into details of the prayer, but the summary of the prayer is itself is very, very important to understand. Look at the words that they have used in the prayers. Krishna Krishna Mahayogims Tvam Adya Purusha Para Vyakta Avyaktam Idam Vishwam Rupam Te Brahmana Vidu. Each and every word is glorifying the Lord. Mahayogim Adyaha Purusha Paraha Vyakta Avyakta Idam Vishwam Rupam Te Brahmana Vidu. Every word has got some beautiful meaning, just like. And the elaboration, translation as given by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Just, I'm going to read that. I just wanted to close this thing. And this is coming in between. The window is coming in between. Let me just move this window. Yeah. Oh Lord Krishna, your opulent mysticism is inconceivable. You are supreme, original person, the cause of all causes, immediate and remote, and you are beyond this material creation. Learned Brahmanas know on the basis of Vedic statement, Sarvam Khalvidam Brahma, that you are everything and that This cosmic manifestation in its gross and subtle aspect is your form. Purport goes like this. The two demigods, Nalakuvara and Manigriva, because of their continuing memory, could understand the supremacy of Krishna by the grace of Narada. Now we can understand, although they were cursed, they are in the form of a tree, but they can still remember the Lord, the supremacy of Lord, that Lord is the cause of all causes. Now they admitted that they should be delivered by the blessings of Narad Muni was all your plan. Now they are saying, because you are supreme mystic, you know the past, present, and future. So you also knew that this is going to happen, right? So they are just saying you are the supreme mystic, you know everything, and because you know that we were too much puffed up, we should be given proper punishment, we should become a tree. Now you also knew this thing that in your presence we are going to be liberated back. Your plan was made so nicely that although we stayed here as twin Arjun trees, you have appeared as a small boy to deliver us. This was all your inconceivable arrangement. Because you are the supreme person, you can do everything. The first prayer itself says everything. Now, the second and third prayers that are coming up, that just try to understand the words that are in there. Mahayogi means greatest among all the yogis and mystics. Adya Purusha, the original person or Lord Krishna, as the creator of the universe. Adya means first or original, and Purush means the person. So Adya means original person, supreme person, first person, whatever way you can say. Vyakta, avyakta. Like you are also manifested and you are also non-manifested. So Brahmana Vidu. You are the knower of Brahmana and also the Vedas. Vedanta Krit Ved Vid Eva Chaham. Prabhu Bhagavad Gita says. So the Lord says that I am the knower of the Vedas and also I am the substance to be known by the Vedas. So the Brahmana Vidu is very important term that is used in this prayer. The next two words are equally important that have all the important qualities of the Lord. Like, cannot read it because of this window. I don't, yeah, let me see how I can just minimize it. ते त्वम् एकः सर्वभूतानां देहाश्व आत्मेन्द्रियवरः त्वम् एव कलो भगवान् विष्णुरव्यय ईश्वरः त्वं महान् प्रकृति सूक्ष्म रजः सत्त्वतमोमयि त्वम् एव पुरुषो अध्यक्षः सर्वक्षेत्र विकारवित्. You are the supreme personality of Godhead. You are the controller of everything. The body, life, ego, and senses of every living entity are your own self. You are the supreme person, Vishnu, the imperishable controller. You are the time factor, the immediate cause, and you are the material nature, consisting of three modes: passion, goodness, and ignorance. You are the original cause of this material manifestation. You are the super soul, and therefore you know everything within the core of the heart of every living entity. So here, uh, all the divine qualities of the Lord are explained. So here I have put them in the form of an acronym. So this is called simple sage. Simple sage. If you can say simple sages, by that acronym, all these qualities can be explained. The first S represents the supreme personality of Godhead or Bhagavan. And here the word Bhagavan, because it comes from two words, Bhag means opulence and Van, meaning one who possesses. The personality of Godhead Krishna possesses all six opulences in full. I stands for imperishable controller. And here in this, the word used is Avyaya Ishvaraha. We all things think that we are controllers of everything, but actually, the Lord is the supreme controller of everything in this world. We may possess something temporarily, but then after sometimes we die. But the Lord is imperishable, as He is the only one who exists after the final devastation of this material universe. The M stands for material nature, consisting of three modes. And here its words used is Prakriti Sukshma Raja Sattva Tamomayi. The Lord is the material nature consisting of the three modes. In Bhagavad Gita 7.12, Krishna says that the three modes are manifested by his energy, but Lord is never bound by the three modes of material nature. He is above them. P stands for proprietor or adhyakshaha. The Lord is the supreme owner of everything. We do not own anything. Lord has immense potencies. All emanations come from him. L stands for living entities, body, life, and soul. Sarva Bhutanam Dehashva Atmendriyeshwaraha. Being part and parcels of the Supreme Lord, our body, life, and soul, everything belongs to the Supreme Lord. E stands for eternal time or Kalaha. Lord Sri Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, I am eternal time. In Brahma Samhita, Brahma says, Yasyadneya Brahmati Sambrata Kala Chakro. It is under the order of Govinda that the sun performs the journey, mounting on the wheel of time. Now, this was simple. Now we wanted to say sages. The next acronym starts with S, stands for Supreme Person, Purushaha. This indicates that the Lord has a form which is full of eternity, knowledge, and bliss, because his Swarup is Satchid Ananda. He is not impersonal as concocted by impersonalists or Mayavadis. A stands for all pervading or Vishnu. Krishna in Bhagavad Gita 9.6 says, Maya tatam idam sarvam jagat avyakta murtina. By me, in my unmanifested form, this entire universe is pervaded. Just as the sunshine is spread all over the universe, the energy of Lord is spread. G stands for greatest or Mahan. Lord Krishna declares in Bhagavad Gita that there is no truth superior to him. He is one without a second. He is called Vibhu. E stands for everything controlled. Ishvaraha, everything animate or inanimate that is within the universe is controlled and owned by the Lord. He is ultimately the owner of everything that exists. And S stands for the super soul, Sarva Kshetra Vikaravit. The Lord is situated in everyone's heart as the Paramatma or super soul, and he witnesses all our activities. So this acronym, Simple Sages, can be used just to remember these verses, initial three verses from Nalakuvara and Manigriva prayers, and we can remember all the 11 wonderful qualities of the Lord listed above. So in order to understand the Supreme Lord, we must approach simple sages because they have simply surrendered to the Lord. And who are these simple sages? These are Vaishnavas, the devotees of the Lord, pure souls who have already actually understood the real qualities of the Lord. They have actually understood within themselves and they can give it to others. Once you have tasted something, you can share that taste with others. You can tell, of course, I have tasted, this is the taste, this is what I feel like. Okay, so then that association is very, very important. So because they simply surrender to the Lord, the result is that they know all about the qualities of the Supreme Lord and they can give it to us. Okay, so these are the prayers that are also coming in the Damodarashtam. When we say when we read Damodarashtakam, so it starts Kuber Atmajau Baddha Murti Eva Yadvat Tvaya Mochitau Bhakti Bhajau Kartaucha Tatha Prema Bhaktim Swakam Me Prayaksha Namokshe Graho Mesti Damodareha. So So, O Lord Damodar, just as the two sons of Kuvera and Manigriva and Nalakuvara were delivered from the curse of Narad and were made great devotees by you in your form as a baby tied with the ropes to a wooden grinding mortar, in the same way, please give me your prema bhakti. I only long for this and have no desire for any other kind of liberation. So that is our prayer. Out of from Nalakuvera and Manigruva's prayer, we derive this prayer for that we can pray because you have liberated these two demigods. Please deliver us also by giving us your prema bhakti. So just a little bit on essence of Narad's teaching. From this particular story, Narad Muni explained that material wealth often leads to arrogance and a sense of false pride. He emphasized the importance of understanding the true ownership of the body, which ultimately belongs to the material nature and not the self. Regarding if we recognize this, it will help us refrain from sinful actions committed in the pursuit of maintaining the bodies. Narad Muni further elaborated on the virtues of poverty, which can keep a person humble and open to spiritual growth. Poverty stricken individuals often empathize with others suffering and are more likely to seek spiritual association, which is crucial for liberation. So, the take home lessons that can be learned from here, from this class, is humility and devotion. The true spiritual progress requires humility and surrender to the divine, free from arrogance that often accompanies material wealth. The role of a spiritual master is clearly defined here, the guidance of saintly person, just like I put that together in an acronym. Like Narada Muni is essential in directing one's life towards spiritual realization. Then mercy of divine. The story illustrates that boundless mercy of Lord Krishna and his devotees who work tirelessly to liberate souls from material bondage. And also the value of poverty. Material poverty can be acting as a catalyst for spiritual growth, fostering empathy, humility, and greater receptivity to spiritual teachings. So, I think this is all I have to discuss today. And if there are some questions, comments, suggestions, I'm very much eager to take all of that. Thank you, Prabhuji. I think I went pretty fast because I wanted to complete this. Uh, yeah, let me just quickly close this part.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Wonderfully, you covered all the, I think, the key points from the story and from the prayers. I will do quick summary, and then as we do have time, I'll open it up for any questions. So when you started with the story itself, how the sons of Kuvera, they were cursed by Narada Muni, and they got intoxicated in the garden of Shiva. And when Narada Muni came, they did not cover up, and uh, you know, they were cursed out of compassion. So that Narada Muni was trying to teach them that they should not be, they should not give in to material nature. So you talked about the story, and then you emphasized all the words that they used when they were liberated. Krishna Mahayogena, Adya Purusha, Vyakta Vyaktam, uh, Rama Vidu, Ramana Vidu. So no one.
Brahmana Viduhu.
Thank you, Prabhu. So all of this emphasizing how the Supreme Lord is emphasizing the supremacy of the Supreme Lord, basically how the Lord is so great. He's the supreme mystic, and he created this plan to teach them a lesson and then also liberate them. And he knows the past, present, and future, so he already knew this was going to happen. So, and then you talked about this wonderful acronym, Simple Sages, which is all the qualities of the Lord. So, just in two verses, we can understand all the wonderful qualities of the Lord, how He's supreme imperishable controller. He controls, all the material nature consisting of the three modes. He's the proprietor of everything. He owns the body, our life, time, soul. He owns eternal time. He's a supreme person, Satchidananda Vigraha. He's all pervading. All energies come from him. He's the greatest. He's one without second. And he's everything's controller, animate or inanimate. It's controlled by the Supreme Lord. And finally, he's witnessing everything as super soul in our heart. So wonderfully you summarized that, Prabhu. And I really like the point you made that, we should aspire to be like the sages because they simply surrendered to the Lord. They understood the real purpose of life and the real nature of what they should be doing. And they just prayed that, give me prema bhakti. And you connected that to the Damodar verse as well. Then you talked about the importance of spiritual master Narada Muni, how he taught them the lesson of, material wealth, the true owner of body is Krishna, and then, we shouldn't do sinful actions to maintain this body. And what we can take away is that in spiritual life, we need humility and devotion. We need to surrender to the spiritual master. We need the mercy of devotees, and we should, strive to get the mercy by doing service. And then finally, you mentioned like that poverty is a great inspiration, a great motivator for spiritual life. Um, and what I took away from that is, Krishna sometimes will take away things from us because he wants us to understand, that he's he's the supreme. So, it helps us connect back to him. So thank you so much, Prabhu. I will open it up for any questions anybody has.
Thank you, Prabhu, for nicely summarizing the talk. Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you for the opportunity. Any questions, devotees? Or comments?
Yes, suggestions are needed, Prabhu. I might have definitely committed some mistakes in the presentation, so I definitely seek some forgiveness for that, and also
Not at
some
all.
suggestions so that I can improve on it. It's just for my purification, Prabhu.
Okay,
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Thank you.
Hare
Wonderful.
Krishna,
Thanks
Prabhu. Thank
Prabhuji.
Pranams, Prabhu. Jai Srila
Most
Prabhupada.
Jai Kar Prabhu. You nicely explained Prabhu. Actually, you could, even I'm looking the pastime of the Nalakuvara and Mandgriva. As part of that, in the Damodara pastime also. Nice Prabhu. Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Thanks, Prabhu. That was very nice. I like the simple sages. I'll try to. That's a very good way of keeping all the qualities of the Lord, remembering anytime.
Yeah, so these initial three verses itself, they have got all the 11 qualities. So I was literally mesmerized, mesmerized when I was just going through it. And then I got notes from other devotees also, where this acronym was mentioned. So I just took it from there
But
and
it's
then
very nice.
wanted to present it here.
Thanks for presenting that way because we can make, that will make it more easy for us to remember. Thanks, Prabhu. Thanks for the nice class.
Yes, thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Thank you so much for the nice class, right? Yeah, I really like that simple sages, right? We can help us to understand and memorize these things. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you for the simple sages. First time I'm hearing that acronym. So I'll go back and revise what are the acronym is details. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
You all are simple sages. I just seek your association. Thank you, bro. Hare Krishna. Then with pranams.
Thank you, devotees. We will conclude our program here. Thank you again, Radha Rasabihari Prabhu, for the wonderful service and very nice presentation and very nice slides. I sincerely thank you for it. Devotees, we will conclude the program here. And I think next week we have Gita Jayanti program, so we will be resuming week after. Look forward to seeing all of you then. We'll say quick pranams.
Hare Krishna. Dandavat pranams. Jai Srila Prabhupada. Vansha Kartavya Chakripasundubhya Chapati Pitanam Pavanabhya Vaishnavabhya